Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you very much for dropping in. I know it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video where I actually talk and say a lot of stuff. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but just hello again, welcome back, as they say. I thought I'd give it a go, and I also thought, just for something different, let's have a look at an old mobile game app, which is to do with two of the greatest DC superheroes, Batman and the Flash. This is called Batman and Flash Hero Run. I'll give a few more details about it in the description below the video. But I thought today we can just focus on the characters that are available, and maybe we can have a little bit of a gameplay run and see how well I do with it. But don't expect anything amazing or miraculous. I gotta be honest, it's been a while since I've played this regularly. And just for your amusement, you lucky guys, I am going to try and do a dramatic voice when I'm doing the descriptions of each character. Already I can tell it's probably going to be a mistake, but let's get to it, shall we? So, you start off with two characters, Batman and the Flash. So with this Batman here, I mean, because it's a starting character, there is no description given to it. So I'll give some narrative. So to me, it looks similar or based on the new 52 Batman. So the look that Batman had when DC launched their new 52 initiative all the way back in 2011, which I can't believe is already 9 years ago. Where is this time going? Time flies when you're playing superhero games, eh? So yeah, as you can see, it's a bit more, it's meant to be not just more of a suit, it's a bit more technically advanced, to show how high-tech Batman's equipment is. But yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, it's based on the new 52. The game doesn't actually give a description itself, so not much more I can say, really. Next up is Batman Classic, and the description reads as follows. The original Caped Crusader, a master detective and crime fighter, Batman combats crime on the streets of Gotham City. So, from my point of view, it looks based on what was deemed back at the time the new look for Batman all the way back in 1964. Now this is where the Earth One Batman at the time, so the Silver Age Batman if you like, started to use a batsuit where a yellow oval was added behind the bat symbol, and that is a look that would stay with the Dark Knight for, well, many years following. So like I said, that is why it's called Classic from my point of view. There's nothing much different really than the original character, apart from it just having a bit more health by the looks of it. But yeah, not much more to say. Next up, we have Batman Wing Armor, and it reads as follows. State-of-the-art Batman armor devised by Lucius Fox and built by Wayne Enterprises. Is it Bruce Wayne in a suit, or someone else? Now, the fact that it's implying it might be someone else could be suggesting that is either Luke Fox, who is the son of Lucius Fox, or it could in fact be an earlier Batwing for a person named David, I don't know how you pronounce his surname, I do apologise, David Savimbi, who was the Batman of Africa. He was part of Batman International, and he was essentially the Dark Knight who operated in the Africa region and helped to fight crime there. I'm not very good at pronouncing names, so I don't mean any offence, so apologies if I've said that wrong. But yeah, the arms look pretty cool. Looks like it can fly. But I find it quite interesting that it's not necessarily Bruce Wayne. Next up, we have Gold Batman, which, I mean, from my point of view, just looks like a gold version of the regular Batman that we saw at the beginning. Just to spice things up a bit, I guess. And it goes as follows. Designed to distract and disorient his foes, the gold batsuit is a unique part of Batman's arsenal. I don't think I'm winning any award for this dramatic speech, so maybe I'll just stick to regular. But yeah, there's anything different really. I mean, apart from there being extra health, I guess, and extra gadget slots, it is just a regular Batsuit upgrade. Okay, and here we go. The other mainstay, the other eponymous hero of this game, we have the Flash. Now, this appears to be Barry Allen. Now, what I find quite unusual is that the card, as you can see on screen now, is of the suit from post-Flashpoint, the new 52 Flash suit. But when you actually look at the character model, it appears to be his pre-Flashpoint suit. So the suit that Barry Allen had back in the day, during the Silver Age and whatnot. Like I said, there's no description for him because he's like one of the starting characters, so not much more to say, I'm afraid. Next up, we have the Flash, aka Wally West. Now, this reads as follows. A former sidekick known as Kid Flash, Wally West took up the mantle of the Flash when his mentor Barry Allen, the true Flash, was presumed dead. So, exactly what it says in the tin there, folks. He used to be the Kid Flash back in his early career. When Barry Allen presumably died and moved on, Wally West took up the mantle and became the new Flash. Now, since the whole New 52 and DC Rebirth, that's not the case anymore. You still have Barry Allen. There is still a Wally West operating as well, although he's also Flash, but he's not called Kid Flash. FYI, I'm not fully up to speed with the whole Flash mythos. I gotta be honest, I do find it very, very confusing how they've done things, especially because the Wally West of the DC Rebirth, as I recall, faded out of existence at one point, so everyone had forgotten about him, but then he came back following some kind of event. I think it involved Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, but I don't know, so I'm not going to do you any injustice by just blagging and talking nonsense. Next up, we have Black Flash. Now, this creepy customer looks pretty cool, actually. So his description reads, a monstrous creature with superhuman speed, the arrival of Black Flash spells doom for the heroes of the Speed Force. Now, the Black Flash pretty much acts as a sort of grim Reaper figure for anyone who is connected to the Speed Force, aka the Speedsters, as they're called. So that's the likes of the Flash, Max Mercury, Kid Flash, Jay Garrick, who's also a Flash. Essentially, he's a personification of death that is fast enough to catch up with the likes of the Flash. Because theoretically, if you've got superhuman speed, you could outrun death, but this death can actually catch up with them. And he looks pretty cool as well, really. I don't think he's a good guy, but so technically you could say death isn't necessarily a bad guy either, but I'll leave the moral philosophy elsewhere. Next up, we've got Catwoman. Now, her description is as follows. Selena Kyle is Catwoman, a notorious jewel thief. She uses her guile and cunning to help fund her endeavours and her taste for the finer things in life. Now, this could be any number of Catwomen that this character is based on. It could be the new 52, DC Rebirth. It could even be the New Earth Catwoman. So that New Earth was the reality before DC decided to reboot everything with New 52. It's essentially, you could probably say, it's this traditional portrayal of Catwoman. Next up, we have an alternate costume for her, Catwoman purple suit. Now, it is a streamlined costume, worn by Selena Kyle. Catwoman's purple suit marked a more reckless era of her criminal career. Now, from what I can see, and what I've researched, this does appear to be the costume that she wore during the 1990s run of comics. Where, as I said, she was a bit more reckless and possibly ruthless in her endeavours. Not sure what I think about the costume, to be honest. I don't think it looks the best. but that is just my interpretation. You guys probably think differently. Next up we have the Joker. Now, his description reads as follows. His origin shrouded in mystery, Batman's mortal enemy harbours a dark secret. This Joker is a clone created by Gorilla Grodd. So this is pretty unusual. It's not the original Joker, or I should say that the normal Joker. It's actually a clone. Now, I gotta be honest, from looking at these for this video, this does seem to be a running theme about cloning. There isn't, like I said, there isn't really a story to this game. It is just an endless runner app. But cloning does seem to be a bit of a recurring theme. I did quite like his picture there. He's holding some kind of rocket launcher with a massive punching glove by the looks of it. But yeah, there's not much more to say in this one. Next up, we have the Joker, The Dark Knight Returns. And his reads as follows. A future Joker who claims he has reformed his life of crime. But is this the true Joker, or a clone created by Gorilla Grodd? Now, DC fans probably recognise this iteration of Joker as being the one from the Batman The Dark Knight Returns storyline, which is set in a different continuity than the main DC comics, but was actually a very, very important story back in the day. So it was initially released back in 1986, and it's during a period of time where Batman stories were still being a bit, they were losing their gritty edge, as you could say. It was focusing on stories which were a bit more fantastical, supernatural beings. And then Frank Miller came along and he released his Dark Knight Returns story, which focused on an older Batman who has been retired for 10 years, having to come back to fight crime against the likes of Two-Face, the Joker, and the mutants. It was a really dark and gritty story, and it kind of essentially returned Batman to his dark roots. The stories from then on involving the Dark Knight became, well, just that, dark and gritty and perhaps a little more violent as well. It really focused on that aspect of the character as opposed to them fighting, these weird and wonderful foes. Really good story. If you ever get time to read it, please do. Who do we have next? Oh, right. So, the other bad guy in this game, Gorilla Grodd. Now, a super intelligent gorilla, Grodd has telepathic abilities that can control minds or destroy them. But is this the true Grodd or one of his clones? So again, we've got a clone here, potentially. Who knows? So for those of you who may not know, Gorilla Grodd is the arch nemesis of the Flash. He first appeared in comics back in 1959. And basically, he hails from Gorilla City. So he's not your regular gorilla. He comes from Gorilla City, which is a very high-tech, hidden city on the planet, where it houses very intelligent apes who, can talk languages. They can actually create technology. They're very, very advanced. Now, from my understanding, Grodd is a bit unique. He got his telepathic abilities from a meteorite that crashed down into Earth, and it helped give him his abilities. And unfortunately, he's decided to use his abilities for pursuit of evil, as it usually goes. Next up, we've got another iteration of Grodd, King Grodd. So, powered up to his ultimate form, Grodd's glowing spine highlights the source of his power. Terrifying enemy, but is he one of Grodd's clones? Apologies there. Again, I don't know. Probably is a clone. He's got some fancy headgear on. He probably amplifies his powers, I'd imagine. I just realised, I don't think we actually looked at the picture for Grodd there. Apologies. There he is. So I presume he's probably a clone. He's got more powers than the last one. Who have we got next? Right. Nightwing. and it says blue. One-time sidekick to Batman, Dick Grayson traded in his Robin costume for that of Nightwing, and now fights crime on his terms. So, as you probably all know already, Dick Grayson was the first Robin. He was the original Robin, sidekick to Batman. And then as he grew older, he started to come to conflict with Batman. I don't mean, it's like fighting each other, but they were arguing on their approach to crime, and Dick Grayson didn't want to keep living in the shadow of the Batman, and didn't always agree with how Bruce Wayne would deal with things. So he struck off on his own, went on to Gotham's neighbouring city of Bloodhaven, and adopted the identity of Nightwing. Traditionally, Nightwing's colour scheme is black and blue, but you can get Nightwing red. Now, there's no description for this character. Don't know what happened there, guys. I do apologise. Oh, what the heck has happened there? Hang on, technical difficulties. We'll get there. Right. So, during the New 52 run of comics, they did change things up a bit, and he gave Nightwing a red and black colour scheme. I don't know why. Maybe they just wanted to try something new. I don't think it really added anything, and I'm fairly sure not long after, especially with DC Rebirth, I think they went back to blue and black. So, yeah, there you go. But you've got multiple choices there, you lucky people, if you want either or. Now, so we've gone back onto a villain now, Heatwave. So one of the Flash's most dangerous foes, Mick Rory's obsession with fire left him terribly burnt, but granted him the ability to shoot fire from his chest. Now, he uses a flamethrower in the comics, but I don't think this one appears to. And again, he can shoot fire from his chest as well, as you do. He is a member of the group called the Rogues, which is a group made up of Flash villains. Now, even though they are criminals, you could say they are evil, they do actually adhere to a strict code of honour. So I suppose there is honour amongst thieves after all. I think my understanding is that although they want to kill Flash, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll go out the way to hurt other innocent civilians or anything like that. The group is led by a character named Captain Cold, who we will actually bump into later on. So next up we have Robin, aka Damian Wayne. Apologies for the notification there. So Damian Wayne, reunited with his legendary father, Batman, hothead Damian Wayne struggles to honour his father's code of justice as Robin. So for those of you who may not know, Damian Wayne is the son of Bruce Wayne, so surprisingly, and of Talia al Ghul. Now, the circumstances of his birth, it happened. Bruce wasn't initially aware that Talia was pregnant or was having the son, but only found out years later. Now, Damian was raised as a member of the League of Assassins, so as you can imagine, he was trained to kill. Now, of course, coming in to Batman, under Batman's wing, Batman who resorts to non-lethal methods of fighting crime, well, most of the time, traditionally. Michael Keaton fans may say otherwise. Robin did have, or Damian Wayne, I should say, did struggle with that during his tenure as Robin. But eventually he did learn to respect the code and his father, and he became an invaluable ally to Batman. Next up we have this geezer, Captain Cold, as we mentioned before. I don't know why, I don't know if it's an oversight, there seems to be no description for this character on the app. So I'll do my best, guys, to fill in the blanks. So, he is a leader of the Rogues, as I said before. His real name is Leonard Snart, his real name. He first appeared in comics in 1957. I do know he has a sister called Golden Glider, I believe. I believe she is also a supervillain as well. But like I said, he is a criminal, but he does actually follow a code of honour. that doesn't mean to say he won't go and defeat or try and defeat the Flash. But I think, again, you know, he probably just want to get innocent people in harm's way. By the way, guys, I should mention this before. If you do hear banging in the background, I do apologise. Next door, having some work done, and I can't get anywhere else to avoid it, especially with COVID lockdown and with the abysmal weather we're having as I'm recording. Who have we got next? Oh, another captain. Captain Boomerang. As cutting these words as he is with his boomerangs, George Digger Harkness is the one member of the Rogues that even his own team makes dislike. So, he hails from Australia, and he has got a bit of a bad attitude and a big mouth on him. He first appeared in 1960 in comics. Perhaps more recently, he's more famous for being known as a member of the Suicide Squad, as you see him in the films and comics, etc. Next up we have, this bad boy, Bane. A brilliant tactician, the Ruthless Thing is a mysterious... A brilliant tactician, the Ruthless Thing uses the mysterious Venom serum to increase his size and strength, making him one of Batman's deadliest enemies. Well, what can I say about this guy? Probably pretty famous by now, but for those of you who may not know, he is the one villain that broke the Bat, famously. So, he first appeared in comics in 1993, when I was a little nipper, and let's just say he made an impact with his first appearances in the comics. As it says in the description, he is a ruthless tactician. So he wanted to defeat the Dark Knight to prove that he was superior. So in order to do that, instead of taking the Batman on head on straight away, he essentially assaulted Arkham Asylum, released all the inmates, which meant then that Batman had to basically work double time to try and capture all these escaped inmates. Now, because of this, because he was pushed to his limit, Batman was exhausted, absolutely exhausted, trying to capture all the villains. Now, what Batman didn't realise at the time was that he was actually being observed by Bane. So then when he returned to the Wayne Manor, Bane followed him and engaged him in combat. Now, Bane is already, he's very adept at combat, fighting skills anyway. So that, combined with his venom, combined with the fact that Batman was utterly exhausted and worn down for all the weeks of trying to capture these escaped criminals, he was defeated, absolutely pummeled, and famously had his back broken by Bane. Now, Bane could have killed him, but didn't want to, because he just wanted to break the Batman spirit and essentially leave Batman with the knowledge that he has failed in his quest. Now, we all know you can't get the good back down, and the Dark Knight did return to kick ass and defeated Bane on future appearances. I won't go too much into that because it does involve another Batman as well, so please read on in comics, and this does sound pretty interesting. Last but by no means least, we have Deathstroke. The deadliest mercenary in the world, Slade Wilson's genetically enhanced strength, speed and stamina make him one of Batman's greatest foes. Now, he first appeared in comics back in 1980, and he has principally been an enemy of the Teen Titans and the Justice League as well. Now, he is pretty badass. He was a former US Army soldier who volunteered for Expand, which ended up giving him increased strength, excess speed, and it also made him smarter, I believe, as well. I'm fairly sure in the comics, especially with his first appearances, it unlocked his ability to use more of his brain. So I don't know if it's a myth, I gotta be honest, it's not something I looked into, but there is a bit of an idea going around, especially back then in the 80s, where humans were only using a certain portion of their brains to function. I believe 10%, I think. Now, this experiment with Deathstroke, it allowed him to access a lot more of his brain capacity. Now, I think realistically in science that is a bit of a myth. You know, humans do use essentially all their brain power. It's not just 10%. But I don't know. I gotta be honest. I really do not know what the crack is with that. I could be talking porcupines there, to be honest with you. Now, I know you guys have been probably falling asleep with me talking, so how about we give it a good old gameplay a go. See how well I can do this. Don't expect miracles, guys, because I am pretty poor at this kind of stuff. Yeah, let's give it a go, shall we? And wish me luck. Let's see what we can do with this bad boy. You can see we are in the Batcave. Robots. Money. Now we're talking. Looking at occupational hazards everywhere. This is his own Batcave, and he's got all this. What the heck is he doing? Right. Oh, didn't like that. Oh. Oh, that's some kind of achievement. I like it. Oh, big boy robots. Very nice. Right. We're doing well so far, guys. Right. Take that, citizen. We're doing well. I must say, he needs to organise his Batcave better, in my professional opinion. I'll remind you, this could have been a villain who maybe captured the Batcave. Who knows? He might have been back himself. But whatever the case, I would not be applying to his here. Because I'm not as athletic. And I'm not better effective, as you can see. I'm not going to resurrect, because I think you get the idea from there. So yeah, that is it, guys. I mean, like I said, there's a bit more to the game. You know, you can get more gadgets for your characters. There are stages: Gotham City, Gorilla City, the Batcave. It is all pretty good, but like I said, it is worth giving a go on the app, I must say. It is closed down now, so what that means is you can still play the app, you can still make progress, etc. But there aren't going to be any new updates to it. You know, it's not connected so much to the server of a game developer. You know, it's kind of like run its course. You can still play it for fun, but that's about it. But yeah, there you go, guys. Thank you for sticking with me through this. I know it's not been the most exciting, but I do appreciate you staying with me, going through this overview of the characters and the game. I thought, you know, with all this talk about the new Flash film, following DC fandom, I thought, well, why not? Let's see what we can do. And plus, I'm a massive fan of Batman, so let's throw in the Dark Knight in as often as possible, and we get this. So, thanks very much all. Like I said, I hope you are all doing well with everything, and I hope you're all keeping safe, especially with everything that's going on. You know, things don't seem to be getting any better, unfortunately, so please stay safe, please keep well, and I hope the weather is great wherever you are. It's not here, unfortunately, in Wales, and yeah, so if you do like this, if you do want to see any more, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. You know, if you've got any ideas for anything, or you just want to leave feedback, please leave it in the comments below. like I said, I'm not the most professional video maker. I do only do this in my spare time. I do have a full-time job, so just trying to fit it in here and there. I just love talking about superheroes, so why not talk about it as much as you can with other people, I say. I love playing these games, so why not, eh? Let's see what we can do. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys, and see you soon.